Right, I'm out of the house with the extremely flimsy excuse of sending a letter or a postcard or a Christmas card to some friends, and I brought the GFX along with me. And I'll try and take one or two photos of anything that interests me. Not really a proper shoot, just a chance to get familiar with it in an outdoor location. I've taken a few shots indoors, been fiddling with the controls, more or less up to speed with the basics, but oh my goodness, cameras these days are so complicated. It would take you months to learn the more detailed stuff. So yeah, hopefully get some reasonable pictures. Just want to give you my sense of how it feels to operate this beast. It's certainly not shy and retiring. You're going to be noticed with this on your, around your waist or around your neck or around something. Right, let's try and find a post box, get rid of the card, take one or two pictures. Post boxes always make good subjects, don't they? Let's see if I can get one of this. It makes a good reference, doesn't it? The bright red. See how well it captures that. Well, regrettably we're going to have to return to base again because a fine drizzle is now once again coming down. It's been like this all day, despite the local weatherman who's collectively known, or generally known as David No-Brain, opining that it would clear up later. Well, David, it is later, and no, it hasn't cleared up. Thank you. I shall apply for the job of BBC weatherman Toot Sweet. Anyway, back to business. So I'm still a little bit fumbly with the controls. I'm kind of used to having an aperture ring for the aperture and the ISO being changeable on the top. I dare say I get used to it pretty quickly. But yes, still slightly fumbly. Do like the on top display and generally the feeling of the camera, but really not a proper trial, just a chance to get out and take a few shots. Sadly it was a very few shots. Anyway, end of this one. Try and get out again properly later. I've risked taking the Fuji out again on the same afternoon. It's continuing to spit with rain on and off. So I've come to my nearest location where I think I can get shots, and I've already come across the first potential subject, something that I photographed before with my Fuji XT2. So let's see what the GFX does with this. So it's this fallen log. I think it's fallen off the tree above and speared into the ground. I don't think it would have been at this angle randomly from nowhere. So I'm going to set the ISO to about 1600, see if we can get a shot. I'm walking through this woodland. With the recent rain has added a sheen of water onto things, which is helping some of the lichen, moss and so forth to stand out. And we've got this fallen tree or group of trees here covered in moss, lichens, etc. Lots of texture. I have taken photographs of these with another film camera, so let's see if I can get a shot here with this lens, which is equivalent to 24 to 50, so not a terribly wide zoom range, but hopefully we can get a decent shot. Of course, having a fancy expensive camera doesn't make you a great photographer by any means, and there's a lot of people who spend huge amounts of money on cameras only to find that they can't produce decent pictures. All the gear, no idea is the phrase often bandied about, and it's true. You need to be able to think about composition, lighting, subject, etc, etc, etc. But it has to be said that better gear that suits you does help you make better pictures, and by suits you I mean gear that you feel comfortable with, you can shoot with in an intuitive manner. So might take one or two more shots here Then I'm going to go on and find one or two other subjects, because at the moment the night is not bad, although it is late in the afternoon, so it won't last very long. It is the middle of December. So, as it's a fair trot to the next section where I'm intending to take images, I'll tell you a little bit about this setup. So I think it's pretty much your bog standard, bare bones, basic, bottom of the range camera in the GFX lineup. That being said, basic in terms of a GFX is very luxurious compared to other types of cameras. So it's 50 million pixels. It's a medium format sensor. I'll put the actual size up on screen. It's not quite as large as real medium format. The kit lens is a kit lens and has a 4.5 to 5.6 maximum aperture and a range of 24 to 50. So it does nothing exceptionally well, but once again, for a kit lens, it's very high quality indeed. So I won't repeat all the other reviews. Go and watch them if you want to. I'm just trying to find out whether this camera works for me. One bonus is it fits fine in my backpack, which is not a massive one. So it is a travelable setup, if you like. Something you could use on the hoof for the day. As long as you had a reasonable backpack. I wouldn't want to wear it around my neck all day. I can see Tom's been doing some work on the estate. Definitely had some things cut back and tidied up. So hopefully he might open it next year. And first actual splash of colour for a little while. This group of rather large fungi. Not in the absolute best state, but I think we'll take a picture here, see what we can get. Certainly I like the cool rim of the cap in the foreground here. This one. So yeah, let's see if we can get a picture of that, and then onwards. So the picture I've been trying to get here is the reflection of this wonderful tree, which looks a bit like a willow, but knowing Tom it might not be, because he collects rare and exotic trees. Reflected in the water of the lake below, but I'm struggling to get the angle, and it really doesn't matter how good the camera is or even how good you are. If you can't get the right angle, you ain't going to get the shot. I'm going to try from the other end, see if that will work better, but I'm afraid the drizzle has returned again. Yes, it's definitely not a day for experimenting with a brand new camera that doesn't belong to you. It is waterproof, of course, but I'm not willing to take the risk at this stage. But there are lots of subjects around this place, always. It's a pleasure to be here. This is a slightly better angle. The tree in the foreground, which I think is a swamp cypress or a taxodium, one of the two. Young to tell exactly. The reflections in the water of the other tree with its yellow and green leaves but it's still not a great shot. There is quite a nice reflection of the tall conifer, I think it's a fir in the distance, but the drizzle is getting persistent again. So let's try one more shot and then we'll see what I do next. Right, let's show me putting this camera away in a very average camera bag. So this is set up for my Fuji XT2 and actually it fits in pretty snugly. So that's a win. So this doesn't require a massive camera bag, although if you bought all the expensive lenses you might need to think about what sort of camera storage you'd need. So I think we'll call it quits for this first in the field vlog with the GFX. I've actually enjoyed myself quite a bit. Still struggling a bit with selecting the ISO and the aperture. The reason why I've been having to change the ISO so much is that the light levels are pretty low and this lens hasn't got a vast maximum aperture. It does have image stabilization though, so it'll be interesting to see whether that is effective at these speeds of 28, 40, 50 of a second. One problem I've been having, and I don't think it is actually a problem, I think it's a function of the fact it's got a touchscreen, is that the focus point was resetting itself to the corner every time, and it's like, why is it doing that? And I think it was because the camera was attached to a strap around my neck and it was laying flat against my chest, and I think it was just the touching of my body against the screen, which is touch sensitive, was putting it to that. So I guess you can turn that function off, or maybe you would have the screen only come on when you touch the shutter speed button. Okay, so as I said, we'll end this mini on location vlog. Hope you found it of interest. Yeah, I'm just finding the handling difficult to get used to after my XT2, which has the good old-fashioned knobs, dials and aperture ring. Right, end of this vlog. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.